Okay, we'll go through today's newspaper again, identify what are the important news, and before going into each and every paragraph, we're going to ask a specific set of questions and find answers. Right? That's the goal. Punjab Assembly rejects centre's farm laws, clears own with MSP benchmark. So we know what those three laws, right? So with respect to APMC, essential commodities and contract farming, and we have also been following why Punjab has been opposing them. If you're not aware of that, what is your aim in this article? First, to find out what the opposition is, right? That is important. And if you don't even know about the bills, what are the bills? So these are the expectations with which you go into this particular article. So, striking down key provisions, almost all political parties, including, so they've rejected. But what does this mean, Punjab passing a bill? So, the new farm bill, it needs the assent of president, because they're trying to amend a central law. And if the president does not give assent, it just be a symbolic gesture, not have much weight. Let's just quickly go and see what it means. So they just go on to say which parties were present, which parties weren't present, what it means, state bills now. Again, it has come to my knowledge. So they just give one backgrounder. Under 254(2), a state can make changes to central election on subject of the Congress list provided it gets presidential assent. That's it. Beyond that, nothing. They didn't give any backgrounder. Now, please don't go do a backgrounder reading on this immediately. You can wait for your monthly magazine to come in, or if you're very curious, or if you have absolutely no clue, just find out what those three laws are. Their information, that's enough, right? Next, COVID not gone, can't be careless, cautions PM. Oops, I'm so sorry. So we don't need to go into the details. Everything is in the heading itself. Twist in TRP case, UP police file own FIR case with CBI. So this is happening against the Republic TV and the botched TRP ratings. You don't need to go into the details because it's specifically about what UP police is doing there. Tejasvi Yadav works campaign crowd, fully political, Bihar elections not needed. Elgar Parshad case again. So if you want to know, just know what Elgar Parshad case is. Google up a bit. Just read the fundamental facts and enough. So whenever you have to go do a background check, wait if it is not very important, because I'm sure your monthly magazine will cover it. Or else just maintain a list of such issues. If your magazine does not cover them, you can do a Google then. That's point number 2. And point number 3, there are two kinds of news that come into your article every day. One that are events and another that are issues. So issues are very prolonged. There is some central context to an issue, and then there is a debate on a daily basis on that context, whether someone's against or someone's for. It's like national education policy has come. So context is the provisions of NEP. On a daily basis, the newspaper might be running articles on it. But events are one time. So they are like a Punjab Assembly rejects these farm bills. It's an event. So you just have to see if you can fit in the event into some issue, or if it is standalone, high chance that you will either get an example or a fact or an anecdote from events. From issues, they'll just make one point in the argument, right? So you can wait for doing issues, read for events. Magazines will do issues very well. You take care of events. Collect examples, facts, anecdotes from little paragraphs. National Green Tribunal red flags Kaleshwaram project. Green clearance was in violation of law. So halt the work. You can write as a classic example of not following environment impact assessment and going ahead with the project. See, so like I told you yesterday, first paragraph will just be an explanation of what happened now. So NGT did this, where who is the judge and what's the judgment they give. They'll just do a repeat, and then somewhere midway or towards the end they get to the actual content. So the Kaleshwaram multipurpose project, world's largest irrigation drinking water, was inaugurated last year. Provide these and these. So that's the project. That's it. Next, tried convincing my mother to get sterilized. Gave her my example. This is very unfortunate that a woman has died in her 16th pregnancy in Madhya Pradesh. So a very unfortunate example, I should say, of the state of women's health, also their reproductive autonomy, and also the importance of women education, right? So most of these, so please read it, store the anecdote, you can use it anywhere. So again, city, I don't need city, I'll move into government and politics. US wants Quad to be more regularized. China noticed it. So we know that Malabar Exchange was held yesterday or day before yesterday. So we will read the news. So while you're going into this passage, what is Quad? If you don't know Quad already, if you know, why is US saying that it has to be more regularized? Why was it not more regularized before? And why did they insist China notices it? Is it against China? So you should know. So on more regularized, was it not regular before? And why should we bother about China? So a day after, New Delhi said that Quad grouping of, so this is Quad grouping, sending their warships, should be more regularized and some point formalized. Okay, China gave a measured response. It has noticed this. Okay, I'll say that it's our time in the passage. Okay, the discussions and practices in the security sphere, continuation regulation, also welcomed cooperation with any country. Okay, what Japan said, what China said, welcoming the decision, US Navy chief. Okay. Now comes the context. Amid Sino-Indian military standoff around LAC and rising tensions in South China Sea, India announced that Australia will be part of Malabar exercise in November, making it the first military exercise between all countries that make the Quad grouping. So, why is India planning to do it? And the participants are engaging. What are they engaging for? Safety and security, collective support for Indo-Pacific. So, that is the reason why Quad is grouping. And on more regularized, we don't have anything yet. They just promise that they'll have to continue these events to formalize the body. Next, that's it. What is the threat to China? We know. So on Indo-Pacific and also with respect to border with India. So these are the contentions. Rajnath releases new manual for DRDO to procure for domestic industry again. So what is DRDO and what is about this procurement for domestic industry? We should first know that this is related to defense deal, and most of our defense comes from imports. So that is the reason we are insisting on domestic industry. So you should go with an approach to find out why is this insistence on domestic industry, right? Because beyond that you don't know anything. So they've released a procurement manual, facilitate indigenous defense industry by simplifying process. Said that new manual has been released to encourage more participation of Indian industry. Will facilitate fast execution of R&D, mentioning some of the features. So these are some of the features in it, but they didn't yet mention the need for indigenous procurement. So you will read it over time. Just keep this as an isolated event. You need not know much of the background because it will be covered in magazine. Decision, Bihar politics, opposition took day politics. UN rights chief slams FCRA used to stifle NGOs and government reacts sharply. So whenever any foreign body comments the government, high chances that your government will react sharply. It says this is our personal matter, you please mind your own business. So why is UN rights chief bothered? First and foremost, you should first understand what this FCRA is. So you go with a question if you will know FCRA, and then how is this hurting NGOs? So with these two questions you go inside, and if you find answers you're lucky, else wait for your mag. So she slammed for tightening of space for human rights NGOs through FCRA amendment and indiscriminate use of UAPA against activists. So this is again detail what New Delhi did, what Ministry of External Affairs did. right? UN High Commissioner said this. India has very strong civil society, but it is worrying. Fine, here comes the point. The act adopted and amended last month detrimental impact on rights of freedom of association and as a result. So here's your point. So like I mentioned in the last 1/3 or 1/4 of the paragraph, you will find the context in which the person is speaking. So read this and then you will be done. Black money inducements worth over. So this is pure some corruption that is. I think this is the money that's going on in Bihar polls done. Candidates in Bihar, you can just use the number if you want in your exam. Don't go into the article. Instant triple talaq petitioner appointed Uttarakhand women panel. That's beautiful. You can write. You can remember this because. So the question again you're asking is, why is this important? So some independent person appointed onto a woman's body, that's a very significant step. Don't need to go into the detail. Heading is enough. Heading is enough here also. Don't need Karnataka bypolls, don't need BSY, don't need. Over to President on farm bills. Punjab again. Punjab and government, they're fighting. Don't need much. But here's an explainer on minimum support. What is that minimum support price? Just know what MSP is if you already don't know, otherwise just skip. Looking for body. Okay, so this is unfortunate. NIA charge sheet, not needed. If guilty, punish him, else those who caught him will have to be judged. So this is again NIA and terror suspects. This is the classic problem all the time. This is an anecdote. If you want, you can read it, because most of the times people who are arrested under UAPA are taken by NIA in the name of terrorists are released much later without any proofs, saying that they are not, they could not prove anything. Unfortunate. You can use the anecdote if you want. Might be useful to provide money to mothers to buy vegetables so that it helps expand local production. So this is about so the World Food Program, for its efforts, it got the Nobel Peace Prize. So this is about food and nutrition security in India. Very important. So you have to read it. So in the interview itself, in the first paragraph, it says, what is it about? So you get into it and try to understand answers for each of these questions. Next, press council against poll predictions. This is annual, it happens. Just read the heading and nothing else. You don't have anything else to answer, right? Press council against poll predictions, it's all there in the heading itself. Puja organizers seek review of Calcutta High Court order, say no time to redesign pandals. This is not useful for us. CPI Maoists get crores from Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh and MP zones. NIA court witness. So this Elgar Parishad case, as you have been noticing, is becoming an issue, right? You can find a series of articles in the last 1 month. So high chance that you will get it in the magazine. So don't spend time digging on your own, because you'll anyway read a magazine. So wait for it, or else just find out what this case is, enough, and then move on. Write it down somewhere in a list that you are waiting for it in the monthly magazine. Next, nothing significant. Moving on. UP promises Mission Shakti to a 6-month drive to ensure safety and security of women and children. If you're clever enough, you will ask a question whether you can eradicate crime against women in 6 months. Is it really possible? Because it's an outcome of deep attitudes. So ask a question. What is your approach? We want to know how are you able to solve it in 6 months, because no country is able to do it. So when you're going into this question, what is the approach they are using that they are promising to deliver security of women and children in 6 months? Amazing. Next, now gang rape again. Not needed. TRP scam. It's all from the front page. Next, what's in India US defense deals. If you want, you can read, because they'll sometimes give you lots of background information. Especially if you are a first timer, I advise you to go ahead and read. Indian Himalayas growing hing, not at all. In Thailand, anti-government protests. Only if you're interested, just know what the protest is about, right? So you don't need to know what's different this time. Just know what the protest is about. What are they protesting against? US Justice Department files landmark antitrust lawsuit against Google. So you should first know, where did Google breach the trust, right? So what happened? Did they misuse their monopoly? What is the issue? So just know the issue and get out. Next, GOP, not needed. Khashoggi, okay. UK said to infect healthy volunteers. Wow. Just the heading is interesting, nothing else. Not needed, not needed. So, this is about spying and surveillance. Some states seek no strings attached. Borrowing, scrapping payout conditions. Okay. So this is again, you should first ask, you should go with certain questions here. Compensation deficit under GST regime. It's given already in the heading itself. So, what is the compensation about? And next, why are the states worried about borrowing? What is the issue? Because they are asking for a no strings attached borrowing and are asking for scrapping out these conditions. So what is it about? What issue has brought them to a stalemate now in the GST council? And what is the borrowing they are speaking about? Why are they borrowing? And why do they want such policy? No strings policy. Enough. Find answers and come out. COVID shadow, sharp dip in bank share in equity funds tech. So this is about banks share in a particular area. Why do we need it? No. Jio conducts 5G trial. Just knowing the heading is enough. DOT extends maximum testing period. Nothing. That's it. You're done.